Regal, and welcome to the director's reel of MalaCom Productions' new mob series, King Sun. King Sun is about a commission made up of very unique mob bosses. We have the Middle Eastern King Sun, Italian Don Sal, we've got Russian Mr. Muscle, Black African American CBK, and Mexican Don L. It's about their intricacies and their relationships, how mob works, and the huge power play that's involved between each character. I would like to introduce our first guest, Mr. Anthony Commodore, who is not only the CEO of MalaCom Productions, but also the creator, executive producer, and director of King Sun. How are you today?
I'm great, thanks a lot.
It's so unique, it goes into so much detail, and I don't think it's ever been done in that sense with so many different characters. How did you come up with a concept? Kind of take us through that process.
So I watched a particular mob series that a friend of mine filmed, and I said to myself, like I said, I was at work and I was kind of bored, and I said to myself, I can write a mob series. So I wrote a 5-page script about King Sun, and I sent it to a few of my friends and said, hey, what do you think of this? And
it was amazing. I mean, I took a peek of what you wrote, and it blew me away. I couldn't help but noticing that these guys are pretty tough, they're pretty stern, they're pretty serious, but they're also surrounded by tougher, more serious women, and some of them are dead-on killers. They just go around killing people. How did you come up with that?
When I created King Sun, I wanted King Sun to be a kind of mild-mannered but dangerous mob boss, and I wanted him to have an Asian mob boss and a whole lot of women bodyguards to say, hey, we'll pretty much kill you at the drop of a dime. So we kind of created his character, surrounding him with a lot of beautiful women, but deadly women.
Wow. Our next guest today is Ms. Stephanie Aurora Thompson, who is the producer of King Sun. How are you, Steph?
I'm doing just great. Thank you for asking.
So a lot of people aren't really familiar with what producers do in the bigger picture. Why don't you give me an idea of, like a shoot day or film day, or what does a producer do for King Sun?
I do a lot. Actually,
I know you kind of need to man these guys over here. I'm not trying to put you guys on the spot either. Was there any day or any time where someone got in trouble for doing something wrong and then moved on for that day?
no.
No?
No, I get in trouble from
Well, I guess that's good. You guys
What about that guy right there?
Well, yeah, he did kind of get in a little trouble.
Okay, so now we're going to get into the actors. Our first actor is Mr. Alexander Demas, who plays King Sun. How are you, Alexander?
I'm great, thank you.
Great. Okay, so a little birdie told me that not only did you not submit for King Sun, you didn't even audition for King Sun.
That's
Is there any truth to that?
There is. I did, I guess, kind of an audition. I sent in a short film that I had produced.
Okay.
And Com saw that and gave me a call back and said, can you do a Middle Eastern accent? I said, yeah, I lived with my dad for 34 years now. So I know. So it just fun. I do. It's a great experience.
But you were also surrounded by many women. I saw a footage the other day, and it was like a person trying to talk to your character, but then they were stopped by security, a girl, 2 girls, another girl, and like another woman before they finally got to you.
What can I say?
How was that on set? Because that just seems like too much estrogen for me. And I'm female. So
It was great. It was a great time on set. They all had their own character. They're all great women. Their roles that they played, they just, I wouldn't want to be attacked by them either. And I'm 4 times most of their sizes. They're all small, tiny women, but man, behind the scenes, they're hilarious, but on camera, they're scary.
Are you?
In all actually reality, I would have auditioned for this role. If he asked me to, I would have auditioned for this role. It's a great part. I try to put a lot of myself in it, but it's just...
So let me tell you all right now, when we were looking through, how many submissions we had hundreds of submissions. And we looked through it and I could not find the Middle Eastern mob boss I wanted. So I remember having an audition last year for another project.
Yeah.
And that's when I found Alex. I'm like, let me give him a call to see if he's interested. And I called him and he said, yeah. So we Skyped.
When he found you, Stephanie, you gotta see this. You gotta see this. And I saw your little demo reel that you sent, and I was like, yeah, that's him.
And he is.
And he is.
He definitely.
Our next actor with us. Okay, don't get too upset if I butcher your last name, okay?
I'm waiting.
Okay, so Mr. Steve Lichtenstein.
Very close. That's very good. Liechtenstein.
Lichtenstein. You play Don Sal in
I
King's
do.
Son,
That's right.
and he's an Italian mob boss,
Yes, he is.
and you're not Italian.
No, and I was rather disappointed there's no Jewish being represented, but but that's okay. I got it down. Italians have their own guilt.
Okay, so did you pull from anything specific to kind of get into your role, or you already had an idea of typical Italian mob
I'm
bosses?
telling you, if I have to tell you that, I have to do you in. No, actually, you know, I, of course you pull from what you know, but in this case, not only is it so wonderfully designed by Com, but the fact is that it's about family, and not mafia family, but family, and it's about defending your family and making sure they're taken care of. There's nothing abnormal than anybody else other than perhaps what I do in the business side.
My next question to you was about family. There's a scene where you're with a young child
Yes.
and you're having dinner, and there's another woman in the scene, and everything was so loving and amazing, and all of a sudden something happens, and something turns on, and the scene became scary to me when I watched it. Are you bipolar in real life? Or is that just really good acting skills?
I do talk to myself, and I've often wondered about that. No, actually, no. It's just that Don Sal becomes a businessman, and at that particular point, something had occurred, and it was more or less I was defending the family, but you know, this is what you do as an actor. I mean, you come up with what you feel would work. You make him human. You have to make that person you're playing human. And yeah, and I too didn't technically audition.
Well, let me tell you how.
Yeah,
Can I justify that?
I'm taking notes.
He's gonna defend everybody.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
So we were filming a class one day with John Plata, and Steve came out of the building of a church we had no permission to film in front of. So he walked down the steps, and once he gave his presentation, once he started, I went to sleep that night. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the
Glad you
morning,
did.
and I said, "Steve is down." So.
And working with you has been a pleasure, but you know, it's just is absolutely a wonderful opportunity to play this role.
And lastly, it took Steve 7 takes, and I can prove it. I can prove it to say Mulian. Mulian.
Because I'm not built that way. That's okay.
7 takes.
But it took me 1 to say oy vey.
I want the fucking movie on. I really.
All right, cut. It's not Manoli. It's Mulian.
I hate this word. Okay.
Mulian.
Okay, moving on.
Okay, so our final guest is Mr. Abdi Mohammed, who plays CBK.
CBK, baby.
Okay, I mean, I'm just gonna have to start with it to get it over with before we go back to it again.
Okay.
You submitted?
There's so many ways.
Actually, I submitted. Actually, he's right in so many ways. But calm that you see sitting here all cool, calm. That calm is always there. But when he's directing or he's behind that camera, there's a level of professionalism that any actor, after seeing this, would say, "Man, I would love to work with that guy."
Oh yeah.
And so, from my perspective, it was just truly a blessing to get an opportunity to play any part with this gentleman here, but to play CBK, because as you probably noticed in relationship to the other characters, I'm a little thrown off. You know, I have a sense of competitiveness, a sense. Now, I have business acumen.
Okay.
Because I'm running my organization. But the way I run my organization is a combination of psychosis that it's just, as an actor, it's just wonderful to have an opportunity to play.
Speaking of psychosis, CBK is the ultimate bad guy of the bad guys. I mean, everyone is a mob boss, but for some reason, you're the worst one of all of them.
Wow.
You
I
get
don't
in
see
trouble.
it like that.
Don't you
We
get in
do.
trouble? Isn't
Well-
CBK in trouble?
Actually, CBK does get in a little trouble.
See?
A lot of trouble.
And CBK has a tendency to feel as though he's invincible.
I'm gonna interject because I don't think Don Sal would have done what I saw CBK do.
Well, Don Sal would have had someone else do it. Whereas by King, CBK is the type of guy that he's very unpredictable.
I mean, how did it feel to just be in that scene and just, I mean, what I saw was literally, and then plop.
Well, the way it's written, it's incredible as an opportunity to go from one emotion to another. And I know specifically what you're talking about, which you all gonna have to see. But it was, to do that, surprised me when he presented to me that that's what CBK was gonna do. And it took a little bit of getting way out of myself in order to pull it off. And it's just an amazing opportunity. I mean, the way this story is written, it's amazing. That's the only thing I can say.
What happens next?
What happened is we're going to take this director's reel and combine it with the promotional video. I actually hired a team of writers. We sat down and we wrote an entire season.
And that's it for this portion of the director's reel. Thank you to everyone who came out and spent time to discuss King's Son. So be kind, be courteous. You never know if you're talking to someone in the commission. I'm Mackie Vigal, and I'll see you next time.